Welcome everyone, it's Facehugger Friday. It's also Friday the 13th, so you know what that means. More Xenomorph content. But before we continue our playthrough of Aliens Fireteam Elite, I have a small favor to ask. If you're a huge fan of the franchise like me, or if you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe. It is a small click for you, but a big click for me, and your support for the channel means the world. Alright Marines, let's grab our pulse rifles and smart guns, and let's not get face hugged. I think today we'll be mow down some xenomorphs and maybe some androids. I think we should actually revisit and talk about the very first Alien film that kind of started it all. I went and saw Alien Romulus when it came out a bunch of times. Took a buddy of mine, and he had actually never seen any of the original Alien movies at all, which I didn't know that. I just assumed that everybody had seen them since the film's been around forever. So spoilers if you haven't seen the movie and you definitely want to see it before you listen to me talk about it. Pause the video now, go watch it. If you can find the director's cut, watch that one, but the theatrical version is fantastic as well. But yeah, watch that, then come back here, and then you can listen to me talk about it there. But yeah, so came out in 1979, directed by Ridley Scott, written by Dan O'Bannon. I think that was the guy that wrote it. If you've ever seen the director's cut Alien DVD, and if you've actually got that DVD and seen like the special features and like the bonus features, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, there's a interview with Ridley Scott talking about how he first got that script in his hands, and he was reading it, and from like his interview it sounded like he wasn't really, geez, get off me, Prowler. From the interview it sounded like that we may not have gotten Ridley Scott to direct it, because he was reading it, and then I forget who he said it was, but somebody came up to him, might have been his wife, might have been a co-worker. It was just like, did you get to the part? And he's just like, yeah, I got to the part, like something jumps out of the egg and like it latches onto the guy's face, and they were just like, no, you got to keep reading. And he's just like, okay, why? And they're just like, oh, just keep reading. And he got to the chest burster scene where the alien rips out of Ash, and like I'm pretty sure that was the scene that was just like, hey, okay, yeah, like we're definitely doing this movie for sure, because like back then there had never been anything like that, just like very, very original, like super fresh in the sci-fi horror kind of like genre there. But yeah, so like directed by Ridley Scott. First movie takes place just like way in the future. Like we've mastered like interstellar space travel and like cryo sleep and all sorts of crazy shit like that. Weyland Yutani mining vessel, the Nostromo. Oh geez, another Prowler. I am not on my game today. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, the Nostromo picks up a beacon, and they don't know if it's alien or if it's human or what it is, so Mother, the ship's AI, wakes everybody up out of cryosleep to go investigate it. And they touch down on the planet, it's LV-426, I believe, is the planet. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like LV-426, because that's Alien Day. I'm pretty sure that is. You can quote and correct me on that if that's not the right day, because again, I'm just going off memory here. I don't actually have a script or anything written up when talking about this movie. So the entire crew grab a kind of just like a little small shuttle, and they go to investigate the signal. And then Ripley, Kane, Bert, Parker, that's his name, Parker, they stay on the ship, and they just send out Kane, Ash, no, not Ash, Kane, Lambert, and Dallas Geez, there's so many aliens here. I'm getting distracted from telling my story. Come on, I'm trying to tell a story here, Xenomorphs. Come on, cut me some slack. They go to investigate this ship, and back then there was no engineer lore or anything like that. It was just this alien spaceship that housed all these eggs in it. But like, so there's a gigantic like rip in the side, which indicates that like there's either an explosion or like it hit a meteorite, but like it crash landed on this planet or on this moon. And oh yeah, drone, come on, let's go. Yeah, let me introduce you to all of my bullets. That's right, you get out of here. Oh, I see what's happening. Attack from the front to get attacked in the rear. Okay, here we go. Let me reload. Running out of ammo. That's okay. But anyways, back to the plot of the movie. I'm sure I can not walk into a wall and multitask here. So they go to investigate this ship, and they see this gigantic seat with this like crystallized being in it, and it's just this like monstrous alien that had been like dubbed later as like the engineer. But in the movie, I'm pretty sure in the script they called it the space jockey, and it was like fused to the chair, and it had like something exploded out of it. But it has like a gigantic trunk-like nose, kind of just like fused around. It's like exoskeleton. And as they kind of like progress more, they like pan over and they see that there's this gigantic hole in the bottom of the floor, which looks like acid blood melted through it. Ash goes down into the ship's cargo bay, and it's just filled with all of these different kind of eggs down there. So he goes to investigate one because like it was in wait, it was dormant, like it wasn't alive until like it sensed the presence of a potential host. Get out of here, spitter. That's right, knock you down. Nobody likes a spitter. Until like it found a potential host, and then it went from its dormant state and it became active. So you see kind of like it moving around, and I'm pretty sure those the thing that made the egg move, I'm pretty sure those were Ridley Scott's hands that were making the facehugger and the egg move. So then like the facehugger jumps out and it attaches itself to Kane there, but we don't see that until later on. So then they're going back to the ship, and in the ship like Ripley and Ash are talking. She's like, I'm gonna go out after them, and Ash is just like, what's the point if they're in danger? Like, by the time you get out there, you'll already know that. So like he's kind of being like a little suspicious, because if you're the chief medical science officer, like you'd probably want to say like, hey, like, yeah, you should go get the crew. But so like they make it back to the ship, and like Ridley doesn't want to break quarantine protocol, so it's just like 24 hours before we can even let them onto the ship, or else like the entire ship is going to be contaminated because we don't know what it is. So like Dallas is trying to pull rank, and Lambert is screaming at her to be like you got to let us on board. And like Ridley right now, she's the senior officer in command, because everybody else is off of the ship that was in command. So she's in command until Dallas actually gets back onto the ship. So it's her call. But then like Ash being kind of like now that I think about it, like definitely like a greedy corporate guy, like kind of just like Carter Burke from the second from Aliens, from the second movie. Like he just lets them back on board and like breaks protocol and quarantine. So like Ripley's pissed, and then like her and Lambert have like words, and like Lambert like bitch slaps her, and like Dallas is all upset and pissed off, and Ash is just sitting there and just being like, this is an amazing specimen, we have to study it. So then they're trying to do all these different things with it. They're evaluating it. They cut off Kane's spacesuit. You see like the facehugger keeps like tightening its little tail around Kane's neck, and they have no idea what's going on. Like Parker's just like, you should just freeze them, and Bert is literally his parrot just saying right. Like But then like they have all these different kind of tests that they run. Oh, I don't even know if I have the ammo for this part. Oh geez, you might have to pistol these bad boys. So they're doing all these different kind of like tests on Kane to try to just like figure out what that creature's doing. And it's got something down its throat. It's feeding it oxygen. It's on a cellular level. It's recycling its own cells and replacing them with something else. And like I got no ammo here. All right, let's yeah, we're definitely gonna pistol this up. You know, that's right, I got my pistol. So then Dallas is just like, you know what, we gotta get this thing off of its face, and Kane's, or Ash, is just like, well, if we take it off, like, it might kill him. And then Dallas is just like, yeah, you know, like, I'm prepared to accept full responsibility, you don't gotta worry about that, like, let's get it off. It's like, this is like one of like the crazier parts where it's just like, it's just like, the entire movie is just a downward spiral. So like things are going from just like bad to worse in every situation that you got going on there. Just like my ammo situation, it's going from bad to worse here. Good thing the pistols have unlimited ammo. But back to the movie, they go to cut off one of the fingers of the facehugger. And like for those that don't know, like the facehugger is kind of like two hands put together with like kind of just like walking like a spider. With like a gigantic long tail. At the beginning of the movie, of like my film here, you actually saw like a bunch of the facehuggers coming out of the eggs there. But it's like when they go to cut it, like it's literally, it bleeds acid all over the floor. And like it's just like melting through the ship. So like they're trying to like figure it out. Dallas has no idea what's going on. He's just saying to Ripley, like, you leave Kane to Ash, and the rest of us are going to get all these repairs on the ship, because during the landing there was some damage that happened to the ship. So they were kind of just like stuck there while they were doing some repairs, which oh look, there's a little hole here. I never noticed that before. Parker and Bert, those are the kind of like the ship's mechanics. Those are the ones that do all the repairs for the ship. And I guess the main reason why they actually touched down on that planet, which I forgot to say, is they're always talking about just like bonuses and money and this big job and all the pay that they're going to get from doing this job. And Ash said that it's company's policy that if you ignore signals from non-human life in hopes of exploration, you actually totally forfeit all your shares and your bonus. Like all of your money that you just would have gotten from all that work you just did, like you get nothing. So that was the main reason why they went down to that planet. So like they're all trying to repair the ship there, and like kind of this is kind of just like the down period where Kane is looking, Kane's just literally laying there with a facehugger on his face, like Ripley's checking up on Ash. Ash is turning off computer. Oh, I see you there. I see you this time. Ash is turning off the computer to monitors when Ripley gets too close to look at things, and he's always kind of just like shooing her curiosity away from all of his research and everything. So like now that I've like rewatched the movies, you know, when I'm not 9, because yeah, I kind of watched all these movies when I was 9 and 10, and probably like back then when you're younger, like not the best movies. They're a little tame compared to nowadays standards, but yeah, if you're gonna let your kids watch them, like definitely watch them ahead of time so you know when to kind of like tell them to cover their eyes and stuff. But great flicks. But yeah, so getting back to it, so like Kane is being like extra, or not Kane, sorry, Ash, he's being like extra kind of like suspicious. Like you can definitely tell that he has ulterior motives when it comes to the facehugger, and like he knows more than what he's like telling everybody and leading to believe. So like they're doing the repairs, and Now, I don't remember if they take off and if they get back to the Nostromo, or if they're still on that ship, but Ash calls for everybody to come down to the med bay. Dallas and Ripley are there, and Ash is there, and the Facehugger has actually, it's vanished. It's no longer on Kane's face. So whatever it was doing with that tube down his throat, feeding him oxygen, like, we can assume that the Facehugger has done its work and it's kind of like moved on. But it's like they can't find it. They have no idea where it is. And now that I think about it, this definitely happened before they took off. So like the Facehugger falls out from just like a vent on top of Ripley, and it's dead. It doesn't have any life left in it. It just has some surface reflexes. And then Ripley says, well, first Ash says like, oh, we can assume it's dead, and Ripley's like, good, let's get rid of it. Like, this thing bled acid when it was alive. Who knows what it's going to do when it's dead? And then like Ash very smugly is just like, well, we can assume that it's not a zombie. And then he's talking about how it's just like, this is the first time we've ever encountered anything like this. It has to go back. It needs to be studied and researched and studied some more. And then he's like, Dallas, what do you think? And then Dallas is just like, Kane, you take care of this. Ripley, you go back to like, let's getting everything repaired and fixed, and let's get out of here. And then like Ripley's just like, Dallas, how can you leave that up to him? And then he says something like, oh, I just want to get the hell out of here. So they definitely haven't left yet. Ripley is questioning him some more, like, how can you leave that up to him? And he's just like, I leave it up to him because that's what the company wants. Like, I leave, like, the company's, like, what the company wants is whatever the company wants, and I just have to follow suit. So, like, you kind of know that, like, some things are happening there. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. They touch off. They're back on the Nostromo. When they get back up there, they get another message to come down because it's about Kane. And they're like, oh, has his condition worsened? Like, is he all right? And then Ash is just like, oh, well, I think it's just a lot easier if you just, like, come take a look at it for yourself. And so they get there, and Ash is actually, like, he's awake and talking, so he's out of that little kind of like micro coma that he had. And they're asking him if he remembers everything about the ship, and he's just like, I just remember being just like dark and like smothering and suffocating. And then he's just like, oh, anyways, like, where are we? Like, where the hell are we? And they're just like, we're on our way home. Like, yeah, it's soon to go back into the cryopods, like the freezers. And he's just like, oh yeah, but before we do that, he's like, I got to get some decent grub into me. So they're all sitting down having dinner. You know, it's just like they were back in the beginning of the film when like they woke up from their cryopods. I guess I forgot that part. At the beginning of the movie, they're getting up out of their cryopods, and they're all having kind of just like camaraderie, like chatting around the dinner table and really like bonding and showing like how close they are as a crew. So they're redoing that scene, but then Kane starts like choking or just like having like a seizure, and Parker's just like, oh, he's having a seizure, like, let's get this into his mouth. And like he's like deathly screaming, like you can tell that like something is wrong, and everybody's just trying to like hold him down and like help him out there. And you start seeing these like kind of like little like rips and like blood sprays happening in his chest area, and people are stopping, and then like he's like panicking some more and like thrashing his limbs around, and like extremely well done scene. Like it definitely really adds to just like the pain that he's going through. I don't think any other chest burster scene has truly captured like the pain that people are going through, as something is literally clawing its way through your chest and just like ripping out in such like a violent birth explosion of just like flesh and tissue and blood and bone and organs. And so this little creature rips out of Kane's chest, and blood's flying everywhere. And like you hear Lambert say like, "Oh God," because she literally had a blood jet like right next to herself, and like it hit her right in the face, and she didn't break character, but she's just kind of like, "Oh God," and like they kept that into the film, which wasn't part of it, so it's just kind of like one of those happy little improv things that they just kept with the film, which I thought was fantastic. It really adds to it. So you see this coiled up chest burster in Kane's like cavity that used to hold his heart and his lungs and stuff, and like blood's leaking out everywhere. Parker grabs a knife to kill it, and Kane was just like, "No, don't touch it, don't touch it." It kind of, and then like it runs away, and then like they're all just kind of left there just thinking like, what the fuck was that? Like, oh my God, poor Kane, and all sorts of like sorrow and confusion. And oh look, it's an engineer head. Aha. What is this? The engineers. So they get rid of Kane's body, they shoot it out the airlock. It's kind of like a burial thing. Then like now they've got this new mission to kind of grab the chest burster and like shoot it out the airlock, because like they're all kind of like in danger of this happening now. Holy fuck, look at all these aliens, they just keep coming. Let me introduce you to all of my bullets. So they're getting all these different things. They've got this cattle prod that like Bert designed. They've got a net that they're going to capture it in. They've got this motion tracker that tracks micro densities, changes in the air, something just like super scientific, where it's just like, don't think that would actually work, but it's a movie, so it's allowed to work. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm trying to tell your origin story. They're going around hunting it. They got a motion tracker. They got a net. They go off in different teams. They've got a cattle prod. Like they start like picking, as they're just like going around, they start like picking things up on the like the sensor. And like they start getting this like beeping noise, kind of like what happened at the beginning of my video here. Which, if you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really helps me out, and I truly appreciate it. But back to the plot synopsis here, and I'm not really giving you a synopsis. I'm just giving you a full breakdown of the entire movie, because we got some time to kill here. We might even cover the second one, maybe even Alien 3, but I feel like Alien 3 should get its own total movie there. Just because like there was a lot that went on with that movie, from just like studio interference to script rewrites to all sorts of chaos, but we'll get through that in a different video there. We're going to focus on the original Alien movie here. So they're hunting the creature down, the xenomorph down, which like they didn't have a name for it yet. It was in the script, I'm pretty sure they called it the Big Chap. So they get something on the sensor, they're following it, it's in a locker, they think they've got the chest burster, but they open the doors and it's Jonesy the cat, it's Bert's cat. So like Bert lets it go, and then Parker's just like, man, like we had to bag it, because now we're just going to keep picking it up on the sensors. And then Bert's just like, oh, do you want me to go get it? And Parker's just like, yeah, like go get your cat. So he goes through just like a couple different areas there, and like I don't know if there's like a coolant leak, but there's chains swinging. It's a little bit darker. There's like coolant or some kind of exhaust runoff water coming from this like ventilation. And like this is where you can really see some new additional scenes from the director's cut come through. There's a few earlier, but there wasn't really any like any kind of really importance one. So like as like Bert's looking up through the water, he's just kind of like cooling off there. He's drinking some of it. So like I hope it's not coolant, and I hope it's just water. Or he's gonna die from drinking chemicals anyways. But like as it pans up, you literally just see the alien coiled up on the rope, on the chains, And then like he kind of looks down, and then he sees Jonesy, and then he goes to grab Jonesy, and Jonesy starts like hissing and growling, and then just like right behind him, Big Chap drops down, and then he's just kind of like, hey Jonesy, like don't be a little bitch. And then he turns around and he just sees this like 7 to 9 foot tall creature like standing up on twos, just like standing upright, like grabs him by the face, opens up its like inner jaw. The script kind of like has like his death scene was supposed to be a lot more bloodier, like he's supposed to like crush his head, which you can kind of see because like before he like when like the alien shoots its inner jaws into Bert's like flesh, you can kind of see like blood coming down his head. It's like his head was crushed because that's where he grabbed, and then like he grabs him and sucks him right up into the vents with him. Then deleted scene right here, Ripley and Parker come running up, and they're just looking up screaming his name, and like it's just raining down Bert's blood now, and they're just like Parker, or not Bert, Brett. It's oh jeez, if I can call him Bert the entire time, Brett. His name is Brett. It's been raining down. Oh fuck, get out of here. It's raining down Brett's blood on Parker, and that's why like if you look at the next scene, he kind of has blood on his shirt, and it was never really explained why in the theatrical cut. The director's cut kind of explains a little bit more there. So then they're just like talking about it, like they're sad again, like Lambert's just like, could he be alive still? And Ripley's just like, no, like, oh god, no, like there's no way. And then Parker's just talking about it's just like, this thing is huge, like he's bigger than a man, like he's huge. And he just like took him up into the vents. So then they're advising they're trying to get like a new plan happening. So oh, get out of here, warrior, I can dodge your little mouth. That's right, thank you, Alpha and Beta. One of you, it'd be great if you could heal me, but you're both very, very selfish synthetics, and you are not going to heal me. But there's a medkit right there, so okay, here we go. Hopefully I don't die here. Yeah, see, I'll just heal myself and I'll pick this up. So now they're on to new plan. They're talking about how they know it's using the vents. So to get around the ship. So they're going to go into the air ducts, and they're going to seal them off one by one, and they're going to try to like kill it that way. So then they're talking about who gets to go into the vent, and then Ripley's like, I do. And then Dallas is just like, no, you and Ash, you set up here, you cover this entrance, and then Parker and Lambert, you cover this other here. I think Ash and Ripley are by the airlock, and then Parker and Lambert, they're at some other kind of like junction opening, and Dallas is going into the vents. He's being a hero. So he's going through the vents, and like the atmosphere of this scene, it's just kind of like it's dark. We really just have a flashlight and Dallas's flamethrower to kind of light it. As you're crawling through the vents, the openings, they're being shut behind him. He told Lambert to close those behind him, and just like the sound, it really just like adds to the tension. And then she starts getting movement on her tracker. Oh geez, I'm sucking at the prowlers today. Like I think almost every single prowler has jumped on me. So like they're talking about movement and like the junction that it's in, and then they stop getting the signal. So Lambert is telling Dallas to hold on, and like the music is winding up, the tension is getting there. You can tell that like Dallas is getting scared because it could be anywhere, and Lambert's just like, are you sure it's not there? Like it's got to be there. Like even though I've lost the signal, it was right there. And then like he puts his hand in some kind of like alien like drool saliva, like a big puddle of just like mucus slime, and then he's just like, I want to get the hell out of here. So then like the signal starts coming right at him, and Lambert is crying and screaming, telling Dallas to move, and it's coming right for you. And then like Dallas starts climbing down, and Lambert is screaming, "No, Dallas, go the other way, not that way." And when he turns around, the Xenomorph is right there, and she loses his signal, and Ash is just kind of sitting there, like with this dead look on his face, just kind of just like absorbing and observing like everything that's happened. So then, but before all this chaos happened, I forgot to mention Dallas was actually asking Mother, the AI, his chances of survival, and she was just like, the AI was just like slim to none, pretty much telling him that he's going on like a death run. So then they're talking about, oh, synthetics, okay, let's go, Alpha Beta, I hope you don't mind killing your brothers, but this is for the good of the mission. So now they're kind of like back at this little lunchroom area, and they're all just like, what do we do? And then like Ripley's just like, we follow Dallas's plan. And then Parker's like, I'm going to go kill this thing right now. And Ripley's just like telling Parker to shut up. And she's actually like asserting herself and being extremely strong. And like, that's like the heroine that like really kind of happens from that point right there, is like, you can really tell that like Ripley's just becoming a badass on her own. And like, she actually gets Parker to like, okay, I'm listening, like, what do you want to do? And she's just like, we're going to move through vent to vent, and we're going to like get it into the airlock and blow this fucker into outer space. And Lambert's just like, no, you're crazy, like, we're going to get into the escape shuttle, and we're going to just take our chances out there, and we're going to blow up the ship. And that was Lambert's idea, and she's just like, Lambert, the shuttle won't take 4. Because right now if we go through just like the kill count, Kane's dead, Dallas is presumed dead, and Bert is presumed dead as well, because they didn't actually see them die. They're just not there anymore. So Ripley's assuming that it's just Parker, herself, Lambert, and Ash. So then they're all kind of getting things to do. They're refilling the incinerators, the flamethrowers, and Ash is just like, what would you like me to do, Ripley? And she's just like, you can do the same thing you've been doing all along, which is absolutely nothing. I've got access to Mother now. I'm going to get my own answers. So she was in there asking questions, and Priority 1 came up, which is a great Easter egg of this game here. The very first mission is called Priority 1. So Priority 1 is protect the alien life form and like get it back to home base for studying. All other priorities, rescinded, crew expendable. And then like and this happens through just like a bunch of like different kind of questionings, and like Ash is right there beside her, and he's just like, there is a good explanation for this. And then she's just like, I don't want any explanation. Just like you can tell that she's just like devastated, because this company that like she put her entire life for has literally just said like, we don't care at all about any of these people, just make sure we get this alien back home. That's the only thing we're worried about. So then like she kind of like pushes Ash against like the wall, and then like she's trying to get like Parker and Lambert on like the comms, but like she can't reach them. And then like Ash starts closing the doors in front of her and overriding the lock, so like she can't get out. And then she's just like, Ash, like, let me go. And he stops her, and then you see this white fluid like running down the side of his face, and then he like just like grabs her and like by the hair, and she just like gets down and like literally like drops down and like rips her own hair out to like get away. And then he's just following her, throwing her across the dormitory and just like into somebody's bunker, into a bunk bed. And then he grabs this magazine, he's just like shoving it into her mouth and trying to kill her. And then like Parker comes in, and he's just like, let her go, man. Like, and just like trying to get Ash off of Ripley, and then like Ash just grabs like a chunk of his like flesh and just like squeezes, and then just like Parker then grabs like what's it called, a fire extinguisher, and like hits Ash across the back like a few times, and he starts like freaking out and like twitching and spitting up all this like white milky fluid blood, and then he hits like Ash again in the head, and his head literally just like gets knocked right off, flips back around, and they're just like, Jesus Christ, like Ash is an android, he's a robot, he's a synth. And like at this time, like I'd never seen anything like this other than just like Terminator. So it's just kind of like the fact that it's just like Ash was a synthetic, and it was just kind of like this big kind of like, oh my god moment, like Ash isn't even human. And then like he's kind of then he like falls down, and Parker's still just like hitting him with a fire extinguisher, and then he like jumps up on Parker, and then like Lambert hits him with like the cattle prod and like short circuits him. And then like the next scene is they're actually kind of like reactivating Ash, because Parker's just like, I don't think this is a good idea, and same with Lambert, and she's just like, but he may know how to kill it. It's like, we need the information. So then they're like having a conversation, and like he's Ripley's just like, Ash, what was your special directive? And he's just like, you read it, I thought it was clear. And she's just like, what was your special directive? And he's just like, priority 1, preserve alien life form, all other priorities ascended or like canceled. I forget the exact wording that they use. And then he says something like crew expendable, or maybe he doesn't say crew expendable. But then like Parker's just like, goddamn company, you son of a bitch, like what about our lives? And then he's just like, I repeat again, all other priorities rescinded. It was rescinded, that's what they used. And so then Ripley's just like, how do you kill it? And he's like, you can't. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Like the perfect life form, its perfection is only outmatched by its hostility. It's free of conscience, morals, guilt. It literally is just the perfect life form. So then like Parker's just like, okay, I've heard enough, just like unplug him. And then and like this is like the best part too, that just shows that like Ash is just like a total douchebag. He's just like, wait, before you do that, he's like, I can't lie about your chances, but you have my sympathies. And then he just has this like the smuggest looking smile, smirk on his face ever. And then they unplug him just with that smile on his face. And then Ripley's just like, yep, we're gonna blow up the ship. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow up the ship, and then we're gonna take our chances in the escape pod. We're gonna blow up the ship. So she's just like, okay, I'm gonna go get the escape pod ready. And then Parker, Lambert, I need you to go get cooling for the cooling systems. And then like before they leave, Parker turns around and just like blasts Ash's decapitated head with the flamethrower, just as to be like, yeah, well, like fuck you too, buddy. So then they're going around. Ripley's getting the ship ready, getting all that set to go. And then while she's getting the ship ready, she hears Jonesy, and she's just like, oh, you know, like we can't leave this cat. Like, so she goes to get like Jonesy. So like she hears him, she sees that he's up on the bridge. She goes to the bridge to get Jonesy. And while she's up on the bridge, the movie cuts to Parker and Lambert getting the CO2, or like the energy for like the coolant system, and you see kind of like Parker's doing one thing, and he's just like putting things on a trolley, and like Lambert's doing this, and you just kind of see this shadow moving across the screen, and then like the shadows cast on Lambert, and you can see that she sees the shadow, and then like she throws one of the things, she turns around, and then like she kind of like double takes, and she turns around, and then like it's just there right in front of her, and then like the deleted scene here, I kind of love it, but like I also understand why they deleted it, because it's kind of fucking weird. It's like the alien starts doing this kind of like tail outstretched towards her, like crab walk, which is kind of weird, but like kind of spooky and like kind of scary, because you're like, fuck, this thing's moving right towards her, like what's going to happen? But then like it pans back up to Ripley, and she's got Jonesy in this thing, and then you just hear Parker yelling, saying like, get out of the way, I'm gonna blast it, like get out of the way. And then you hear Lambert being like, I can't. So then she's just like, Parker, Lambert, like what's going on? And then like the camera's just cutting back and forth between the two, like it goes back to that room with Parker and Lambert, and like Parker's screaming just like, get out of the way, and Lambert's just like petrified in fear. She can't do anything but like scream and cry. And so Parker kind of like jumps at the alien, and then like the alien does like a little kind of like spinny tail hit, like knocks Parker back across the room, and before he realizes what's happening, Spitter, fuck off, I need the ammo. Before he realizes what's happening, like the alien already has him in his grasp and like lifted off of the ground. Parker's still like yelling and screaming. I'm pretty sure the line he screams out after this, like it was so kind of muddled, was get out of the room. Because there's been a lot of like debates over the internet about like what Parker says just before the alien opens up its mouth, and you see its inner jaws and a bunch of just like drool and like alien goo comes just like running out of its mouth, and then like the second little inner jaws like snap into like Parker's body and like just like tear open his flesh, and like blood's being extra kind of just like chunky at this point, like it just like rips open his flesh and he's down, and then like you see the alien just kind of like turn around and just kind of like slow, kind of like majestically, beautifully, like kind of like honing in on Lambert as she's still terrified against the wall. And then you see kind of just like the alien tail kind of just like go kind of like start to wrap around her leg almost, and then like she's screaming, and it cuts to Ripley running down the hallway trying to get to her, as you just hear like Lambert's just like blood curdling, like choking on her own breath into like a final horrific scream and over the PA system as Ripley's running down there. And then to just like the most chilling thing is like you never see what happens to Lambert, like you just hear it all, and you can only just imagine like what is happening to her. And then and then just silence. And then like Ripley gets to the room, she sees, pretty sure the camera just shows Parker sitting on the ground, kind of like all crunched up in blood, and then you just see like a hand swinging, so like it kind of looks like Lambert was just like torn to pieces, and like only some of like what is left can be seen. But then like the next scene, you just see Ripley just like booking it to the escape pod. Oh no, she runs back to the bridge, and she starts setting the detonation sequence. So she gets that all set, and she starts booking it back to the escape pod. And then like she comes up this ladder, and then she turns around this corner, and then like the alien pops up right there. So she drops Jonesy down. She kind of like wall hugs, sidesteps, backs away, and starts making it her way back. And you see the alien just like looking at Jonesy, and then like just like swipes the cage away towards like the entrance of the escape pod. And then it pans back to Ripley, like running there, trying to stop the self-destruct sequence, because you only have a certain cutoff point to stop it before, like, you can't stop it anymore. So Ripley's running back, and she's at the bridge, and she's like, the time is counting down. She's cutting it close. She's pushing all the buttons and throwing all the switches, and like, just like the whole like anxiety and stress of just being just like, hey, this thing is about to explode, and I'm still on this ship. Like, what are we going to be doing? And then like, just as she gets like the last levers up, like, she fails. So like, she doesn't stop the detonation sequence. Like, it's now counting down even more. It's like she's coming back, and she goes to a certain area. No, wait, but before all this, before she gets to the, I forgot a crucial part that's in the director's cut. Before she runs back to set the detonation sequence, because she's going from where she just saw. I'm pretty sure this is where the scene is again. Like, it's been a while since I've watched this one. Like, I'm definitely overdue to watch them again, and I probably should have watched them before. There's a scene where she is in this kind of like this like little maintenance area, and you see all this kind of like weird alien like bio growth on the wall, and then like you hear this like sound. It kind of sounds like somebody's moaning, and then like she just drops down, and like she raises her like light up, her flamethrower, and then it's she sees Dallas in the wall, and then she pans over and she sees what looks like Brett, and like something's happening to Brett. Like, some fans have said that Brett is actually being cocooned and turned into an egg for a new facehugger to come out for Dallas, and like fans have like speculated, hasn't been confirmed, that when there's no queen present to lay eggs, that they can actually cocoon people and like mutate them into eggs, which that is like, and that's what fans are saying is happening to Brett there. Brent is what's happening to Brent there, or Brett, I forget. And then she like pans over to Dallas, and Dallas is saying, "Kill me," and he's just kind of like, just like moaning out and just saying, just like, "Kill me." You can tell that he's in just like excruciating pain. So fans are saying that like the process of transforming it into an egg is happening to Dallas as well too, and that's why he wants to be killed. And that's why, like, if you watch the director's cut, the kill me scene in Aliens, and at the very beginning of the movie when she's having that dream, is that much more impactful, because like she's seen what's happened, and why you would say that. But she flamethrowers everything, and then we go into the scene, and then I'm pretty sure then we go into the scene where she's just like making her way to the escape pod, or maybe she's making her way then, but like it'd be a weird place to put it, because it would make a lot more sense there, because like she's in tears, she's crying, so like she's got a flamethrower. I don't remember what point in that movie that scene is there, but it's definitely in the director's cut for sure, because the first time I saw it, I was just like, oh wow, like that's fantastic. Like that explains even more about why they have like the cocoons and like the nest and the hive and aliens. But so she can't stop the detonation, she's running back to it, she's super cautious, the alien's nowhere in sight. All she sees is kind of just like Jonesy, so like there's explosions and fire happening behind her, like the ship's about to blow. She's making a break for the escape pod. She grabs Jonesy, she closes the door, she hits all the buttons, and she launches herself out away from the Nostromo that's about to blow. Mother's counting down. The ship explodes, like destroying all of the payload. Nothing's left. The explosion happens like 3 times. It's massive. Ripley's sitting there in her chair, just like, I got you, like, you son of a bitch, I got you. And it kind of gives you like a little sense of ease, you know. It's just like, she survived, she saved the cat, she blew the ship up by killing the alien. To kill the alien, she blew the ship up, so it's just like, okay, you survived. Then like she's getting ready to go into cryo sleep. She changes there, she's hitting all the knobs, the levers, and then like as she's over at this one control panel, like what looks like a tube, the alien arm falls down. So the alien was on the ship with her. She panics, puts on a spacesuit, like she gets a plan, I'm going to blow it out of the airlock. So she goes out there, the alien is still kind of there, she's strapped in, she's got her suit on, she's got her little hook gun, and she gets the plan. So she's in there, she's sitting down, she's strapped in, she's singing, she's saying like Lucky Star, Lucky Star. She starts hitting all these like fire suppression systems to put out fires in case of an explosion. And like she hits one and it just blasts the alien, and it's screaming, it's thrashing its limbs around, because that was the one thing that Ash said, we don't know much about it, but like maybe if we can change its temperature, we might be able to kill it that way. So that's why they thought like maybe fire was a good way to kill it with the flamethrowers there. So like Ripley spins around, the alien's standing up, it's coming towards her, and this is really one of like the first times that we actually get like a good look at the alien, because that was one thing that they really did with the movie that was great, is they kept the alien you never got a good look at it, which made it even that much more terrifying, because you weren't sure what it was made up of. It's like she looks out of her helmet, she sees the alien there with like its mouth open and its inner mouth coming out. She hits the button, blows the airlock, the alien goes flying back out, stops itself. She hits it with the hook gun, it goes flying out, the gun gets trapped in the door. So the alien's there, its tail latches onto one of the thrusters so it can kind of just hide in there. And then Ripley hits the thrusters button and it blows the thing far, far away. She escapes, and hitting the thruster button is probably what made her drift through the outer rings for like 50 years or 60 years or something like that. I'll do more research when we recap the second one. But yeah, that was definitely like the Alien movie. It was fantastic, both the theatrical cut and the director's cut. Amazing. The creature design, they had somebody design the ship, and then a different artist designed the creature. So H.R. Geiger, however you want to pronounce it, he designed the alien, and he designed the alien full grown because he did like a lot of biomechanical surrealism work, and they really loved his work. So they got him to design the alien, and then they also said, hey, we need a creature design for the Facehugger, or for like the chest burster. And like they were and like you can see some of the concept art, and he kind of literally designed this like crazy wild turkey looking thing, and like people are laughing, and it's like H.R. Geiger being I think he's from Sweden, being like the painter. He was just kind of like, why is everybody laughing? Like this is like really serious to me, and like it just wasn't scary at all. So he said, I think it was Ridley Scott that said like, hey, work backwards from what you did, and then like just like keep working backwards. Because like they had the Facehugger, and they're just like, we need something for the chest burster. So he literally just worked backwards, and like the design that we got was the chest burster there. But the original concept design of the big chap is it was never going to be this like dark material. It's actually going to be this like translucent like white. There's like action figures for it that show it, and it's just kind of like the concept work. And like, I really think if they would have made it that, it would not have been as scary. It just would have been kind of like, yeah, I guess you could blend in with just like the gray kind of material a little bit better. But the fact that they were able to make the alien blend so well into the atmosphere, that's kind of just like one of its like survivability techniques. Like it was fantastic. Like the alien in that time was all done with practical effects, because they didn't really have a lot of like computer CGI animation. Wasn't what it was today back then. So like you got a lot of these movies with practical effects, so they actually had like a guy in like this suit, which is wild. Which is just like, it's just like wild to me that they were able to like capture all of that stuff with just like the guy in the suit, and just like camera angles and like all sorts of just like fantastic different techniques there. But yeah, it's definitely a masterpiece for sure. Like it's up there with one of my favorite films of all times, and it's kind of like, holy fuck, look at all these androids. And it's definitely one of those movies that really like really made me fall in love with the whole kind of like franchise. So I had seen Aliens first, and like, again, I was way too young when I saw Aliens. I saw that movie, I'm pretty sure I saw that movie at my grandmother's house. They were all just kind of like watching it, and I was just watching it. And like, from what I remember seeing it as a child, it's way different than, from how I remember it in my mind, is actually way different than how the movie actually plays out, which is just goes to show you that like through the eyes of a child, they definitely like see it differently for sure. Yeah, you're still asleep. We'll take care of you there. But yeah, then like with Alien Romulus, so where Alien ends, that's where Alien Romulus picks up. So Alien Romulus is kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say one of those legacy films, but it's definitely one of those films where it is a direct sequel to the original one. It doesn't do what the Halloween movies did. Oh, see, there we go, another prowler on top of me. It doesn't do what the Halloween movies did, where they made a trilogy sequel to the original film, and then it just kind of erased everything else that happened with like the Halloween movie. So as far as we know, everything else is still, I guess, what people call nowadays canon. Which, like, again, like you can't erase James Cameron's Aliens. Like, it added so much to the original source material, to the original lore. Like, it was a fantastic movie. Like, some people say like Aliens is a better film than Alien. I would say Aliens is more of a action sci-fi horror, where Alien is more just straight up like sci-fi horror, kind of like movie there. But both are great pieces to the to kind of just hit the whole like source material and the and the franchise. Yeah, so that was the recap. Definitely watch it, because my explaining it probably doesn't really do it justice. Like, I've seen it so much, but I've also forgotten probably a lot, or I've got like a few things out of order just based on how I'm remembering. But it's one of those movies that I could just watch like over and over and over again. With Disney Plus, or Disney acquiring Fox, like you'll be able to find the Alien movies on Disney Plus for sure. So there's definitely lots of ways to watch them. But like if you can get your hands on like the Blu-ray copies and the special editions, like definitely those ones are the ones to watch there, because with the streaming services, which like love the availability, so like I don't have to go rooting through all of my DVDs and Blu-rays to find everything. The one thing that like the streaming services definitely do lack is you don't get any of the special features. You don't get the director's interviews. You don't get the director's commentary. You don't get to see the behind the scenes. You don't get to see the deleted footage or the additional footage. It's kind of just like whatever version they put up there, that's just like what you get. Oh, that was very lucky for that one to drop right there. Yeah, okay. No, didn't get him dropped. We were right there. Okay, good. Yeah, we take this. We'll take this. Yeah, if you can get your hands on it, grab the Blu-ray, the special edition, watch the director's cut. It's my favorite version of the film. Theatrical one, if you can just find it on Disney Plus, still fantastic. Definitely a great film. Both of them, I wouldn't say that the theatrical version takes away. The director's cut just fleshes out a few more things that just like make the movie overall great. Definitely a great ride. And if you're like younger and you haven't seen them, again, like fantastic films. Alien Romulus, great as well. We've already talked a bunch about that. We didn't go through it in too much detail, which we might go through it in detail one day. But some people hate it because they say like it didn't really add to the franchise. I say it's fantastic because not only does it give the older Alien fans a great movie, but it also introduces a newer, younger generation to the franchise as well, which I think is great. And it's definitely a very nice breath of fresh air to get not only a sequel, but like a great new entry to it. So we're almost done with this mission here. So I'm going to stop yapping around. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the chaos there. Thank you everybody for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps me out. And again, your support means the world to me. We post some kind of alien content video every Friday there for Facehugger Friday. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. And as always, everybody, don't get face hugged, because being chest bursted is not a good time.
The primary hub has failed. The auxiliary is now handling 76% of Cynthia's internal traffic.
Keep looking for power cores, fire team. Let's overload that ops hub.
Bypassing damage. Destruction of company property. Bypassing damage.
Grab that Synth power core.
Touch and go.
That's a salvageable power core.
Esther, we were created to protect humans. That is my purpose here. They can't interfere. Weyland Yutani has the resource for your own safety. Do not delve further into these ruins. Watch the skies. Esther,
clear inbound. We'll have you home before the sweat dries.
We are leaving!
I forwarded details of my behavioral inhibitors to your email. It is important you know this could not happen to me. My mind is very different.